I really wanted it to work out, and we were all excited about jumping in, but let me tell you what didn't work and what totally worked for our family this school year. Welcome to the Chan 7. If you're new here, I'm Euree, dentist turned homeschool mom to 5 kids, ages 12, 9, 7, 5, and 2 years old. We're wrapping up our 8th year of homeschooling, and our channel is about the crazy adventure of homeschooling, what brings us joy, and read alouds with our kids. We'd love for y'all to follow along by subscribing. I want to thank Davene from Calm in the Chaos Homeschool and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool for hosting another fun collaboration. And this one is about what worked and what didn't work in our homeschool for the year. It's always fun to hear how school years go because they usually don't go exactly as planned. I can't wait to hear how everyone's school years worked or did not work out. I'll have Davene and Shauna's channels and the playlist linked down below in the description box. So if you haven't done so already, make sure to check those out. Just a quick disclaimer, these are what worked and didn't work for our family this school year. And depending on the season and the circumstances may look different from year to year. And surprisingly, what's not working this year may actually work next year. So we'll see what we decide to try again next year. This school year, it's not like we had a big move or a family emergency, but we did have 2 active toddlers, one who was potty training and asked to go to the potty at least 5 times an hour, and on top of requesting trips to the refrigerator for more milk. We were also committed to 2 homeschool groups along with various activities. But overall, I think our school year went pretty well. But more recently, we had changed the way we were doing our family time routine. While our routine was working out just fine the way we were doing it, our kids have voiced that they like the new way better. I'll have a morning time video linked if you're interested in seeing how we were doing things. Actually, our oldest is the one who suggested the change to move our family subjects that we loop in the afternoon to the morning, right after our morning time. And we used to loop science and history after lunch, but now we do loop those 2 subjects after we do our morning time. And at first I thought that it would be better to have a little break between the morning time and a big family subject, but it turns out that they were fine without the break. Of course, it's never ever picture perfect, but this change has given me more energy and time. And that time is so valuable because I can now have more time to give to our youngest 2. And our older 3 kids like that they have more flexibility in the afternoons. And once they're done with all that they need to be doing, they are free to go and play with their neighborhood friends earlier than usual. I'm going to start on a high note with what worked for our family this school year. We actually really enjoy going through the Mystery of History Volume 2 as a family subject. But we're only about halfway through because we were looping Mystery of History with science in 3 days in the week because of our afternoon commitments. But I always look forward to the Mystery of History lessons. It's the one family subject, or one subject in general, that I'm pretty much totally hands off because we listen to the audio while coloring the coloring pages that are related to the lessons. So Linda Hobart is the author and reader of the audio for Mystery of History, and she does a great job making the textbooks seem very conversational. And even though it is a textbook, they don't feel textbooky because of the way they are written. Although we are going to take a little break from Mystery of History, and I have a video on our history choices for the upcoming school year that I'll have linked. Another resource that has been working for our family are the Good and the Beautiful science units. They are fun, well organized, and have a multi-sensory approach. And we have gone through botany, and here I have a lesson on arthropods. And right now we just started the mammals unit. And science and history have been looped in 3 days a week because of our other commitments. So we're going to be playing a little catch up during the summer with science and history, more likely. I also want to try the safety unit from The Good and the Beautiful. So we'll see how everything goes. The next win for us has been easy grammar. We decided to go with easy grammar because our son was struggling with language arts. And unfortunately, The Good and the Beautiful language arts was not working out for him. But we're thankful to try easy grammar. The lessons in easy grammar are short and clearly laid out. And I like how easy grammar starts teaching the students prepositions, unlike most other grammar programs that start with nouns. And I'll probably explain the whys better in another video. But we have been liking easy grammar. Our next win is Evan Moor's spelling. Now, Evan Moor doesn't teach spelling rules like The Good and the Beautiful or All About Spelling do, but the list style spelling has been working for some of our kids. When we were doing The Good and the Beautiful, our son was having a hard time trying to spell words because he would have to always try to mentally pull out a spelling rule that was presented by The Good and the Beautiful. And that was actually getting in the way for him and kind of distracting. So that's when we decided to try Evan Moor's spelling, and it's actually been a good change because he's improved so much in his spelling this school year after the change, and it's not as frustrating for him anymore. Our next win comes again from Evan Moor, and this one is Read and Understand Poetry. We incorporated this one into our morning time as a family, and it went relatively well as we went over several genres of familiar poetry while learning about the tools and patterns of poetry while answering questions in order to understand the deeper meanings of the poems. So we enjoyed that one. If you've been following at all in our homeschool journey, you'll learn that I love CLE's language arts and reading. They are so comprehensive and so easy to use, and our kids really enjoy the readers that come with the reading program. The stories are rich and have lasting impressions, and our 7-year-old is excited to switch back to CLE's language arts after having gone through 2 years of the Good and the Beautiful's language arts. Singapore math has always worked for our kids in its mastery mental math approach, but for our rising 7th grader, we are planning on trying a different program because Singapore math doesn't go all the way through high school. So I'll have a video linked about math in our home and what we plan on using for the next school year. Hey, I have one more win that I want to share with y'all. Reading straight from the Bible and talking about it has actually been working out really great for our family. Not having a Bible curriculum has kept our discussions open-ended and actually has helped our kids to ask more questions. I do hope to try more direct Bible studies from Not Consumed in the future, but for right now, this has been working out great. Sadly, one of our early fails were these composer and hymn studies. It makes me sad because music is such a big part of my life. I love the idea about studying the famous composers and about the lives of the people who wrote our most recognized hymns, but unfortunately they weren't working out for us this year. We were so excited in the beginning, but they quickly dropped off. I think that maybe the kids were not interested in music just yet, and also we were pretty busy through the year. But this year I have had the chance to help direct a children's choir at our church, and I think that the kids have grown a greater appreciation and love for music. So we may pick this back up again in the near future. Latin is another thing that wasn't working for our family. So I thought we'd try Memoria Press's Prima Latina, but soon into the program, the kids weren't excited. And then I started drooling with the flashcards that came with the program. But maybe because the words in the lessons were not necessarily connected very well, we weren't able to retain them so well. And we even tried the DVDs that came with the program, but unfortunately the kids found them really boring. Unless we truly want to be a classical family, we may take off Latin as a language study altogether. Next, the history timelines and the book of centuries were some of the things that didn't work for our family. Ooh. Here's one of our kids' book of centuries, and we weren't very good about filling it out, unfortunately. I totally wanted to make these work, but our kids weren't that excited about them, and they felt more like busy work. So I felt like I was having to cut these out and paste them, and then we can color them and organize them, but it was just, felt more like busy work. These are the timeline figures that I used. A program that I had so much hope in and really wanted to make work out, but didn't work out, was Gather Round. I love the idea of Gather Round. Having all the kids gather around together and doing school, but it just wasn't working out. And we have tried quite a few of their units because I had bought the big package. And early this year, we went through the Earth Science. The content and information were really good. And sometimes I would summarize the readings because of the wordiness of it for some of our kids. But my least favorite part was the student books. Although some of the pages, some of the content was really good. I mean, I could see how the student books can make the program really robust, but I felt that for a large family, it was challenging to getting into the student books. You know, I felt like I was being pulled in many directions to help certain kids with the pages. And I also didn't like that the content from the student workbooks weren't in the teacher's manual. So after we're done with the readings from the teacher's manual, and then going to the student books, there was more that, oh, we didn't realize we were missing that we didn't get from the student guide or the teacher's guide. I also had a hard time trusting the program to fulfill language arts, history, and science. I feel that the program is totally enriching, but not enough to fulfill those core subjects for our family. And it might also depend on the unit you start with, because when we started out with the Gather Round, we had started out with the human body. Since our classical conversations community was going over and learning about the human body for that cycle, I thought we would start with the human body, but the material was a little bit more complex for some of our kids to follow along. So I wouldn't recommend the human body as the first unit if you have younger children. But we are going to pick up the United States government mini unit in 2024 since it is an election year. Since I had purchased it a while back and I have the materials, and who knows, maybe it'll help change my thoughts on Gather Round. I had pretty much shared with y'all earlier in the video that the Good and the Beautiful language arts wasn't really working out for our family. And so the Good and the Beautiful language arts is my final miss that I want to share with y'all that didn't work out. I will have a video linked explaining why we decided to try the Good and the Beautiful and why, unfortunately, the Good and the Beautiful language arts didn't work for our family. Our 7-year-old just finished level 2 of the language arts program, and she is so excited to be done with it and to move on to CLE's language arts. Overall, we weren't too thrilled with the spelling, the readers, the writing, and even the layout of the books of the program. So those are just of our hits and misses for the school year. Please share some of yours in the comments. And upon reflection, I noticed that we had a lot of things that didn't work out for our family this year. But no one homeschool will look alike, and no one school year will look like the next. And it's important to remember that it's okay not to get all of the year's goals met. It's just 1 year in the grand scheme of things. What's more important is progress. And in reflection, I like to ask our family, did we grow in character and relationships? Because in the grand scheme of things, those are what matter more in our homeschool than if we finished a program or if we had hits or misses. Don't forget to check out the playlist and Davene and Shauna's channels. And please help support our channel by liking and subscribing. That always helps YouTube and me know what sort of content to keep coming. I try to post weekly. One of the topics I'll be sharing next will be about our favorite and least favorite read alouds for the school year. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for watching, and I hope you join me again soon.